Haven't been on Rory's marathons and saw how he's been piecemealing pages together from the main central page. When I got the phone call tonight, that's what I did with all of my 6 pages.
Mhm.
It comes in very handy, the way he's showing you how to modify your pages. We lost him again. Dang it.
He's your host, honey. We're
Okay.
good now. You want to hit record then?
Yes, we will get started. Record to cloud. Yes. All right. So, like I said, I got a phone call from Rory today, wanting me to do a series of trainings for our Brain Food Academy. If you have been coming to our open house, we've been getting some questions. We're this close, literally, to opening up. We just got a few tweaks we got to iron out for the student registration. I did onboard 3 new teachers this week. So we will be getting their information on the YouTube channel so that we will be doing that. So for the next 3 weeks, we are going to be, I'm going to be creating pages or showing you pages that you can go and use to get information to market with. The first one today is going to be a Q&A type information page that you're going to be able to use. You're going to input your own links in there for your own teacher and student signups. So when you see this page, it's going to have some information about the criteria you need. Is kindergarten relevant? Do you have to be in kindergarten? What states require kindergarten? What information do you need or criteria do you need to actually start school? Where can you go to get funding, or is funding available? So I'm going to be showing you that page that I've created and show you some of the resources that's back there. And then the following week, we're going to be showing you how to create pages and marketing for our teachers. So we're going to be breaking our teachers out for elementary school, middle school, and high school. So you'll be blocking out pages or creating pages for all the teachers. That's going to be our kindergarten. You're going to be featuring their video with their personal information or their blog information. There, you're going to be featuring them. You can either do one teacher, you can do a group of teachers. If you want to do all the English teachers, if you want to do all the math teachers, you're literally going to be able to have those pages set up. I'm going to be creating a master page, just like Rory has been doing on many marathons. I'll be creating a master page that you can then come in and use and utilize for the information that we're going to have. We still have about 6 teachers that have not created their videos, so we'll be working on that diligently to have that up and ready for you guys. So when we do the teacher profile page, you'll have that. And then the following week, we're going to be talking about how to get started, how to go in and do the registrations, what they need to do, what they need to have when they come to register, how they can go in and manipulate and work the system to get the grades and the curriculum that they want. So we'll be having all that information. So you're going to be getting resource pages from me that you can then go and market and develop. Roy was going to put them on his site, but he's like, no, he didn't. We'll just put it on mine since I have all that information already. So I'm going to share my screen and show you guys this page. Can you see this, everybody?
Yes.
All right. So the title of it is Your Guide to Learning with Brain Food Academy, Get Started. And it's going to be just an introduction to Brain Food Academy, what we're doing, how you can get started with the new system. And then here's the invite code for them to come to our Brain Food Academy open house. So you want to make sure that that is in your page somewhere. I have the whole thing highlighted. I have their time zones, when they can come in. Click here, on Wednesday nights. And then this is the information. We got some great questions yesterday on our Brain Food Academy open house. And so we decided to address them. So we don't have to answer the questions every night or every Wednesday night. It's better to have a resource page so that you can direct your students or your parents that sign up or that have information or questions about it. We're going to be modifying this page. So when you have a student or potential parent or potential applicant for our Brain Food Academy come up with the question that is not here, please get that question to me, get it to your MSI so that I can get with my people that I'm researching this information with so that we can get the right answer. Everything that we have is for all 50 states in the continental USA, as well as any military, US military base outside of the US. So this is all information that you can use. So one of the things that was asked, what is the criteria needed? So I pulled out information so that you can go to your individual State Department education site, or you can go to your state educational department. But right here, I actually have the link where you can go to the United States Department of Education, select your state that's there, and it will give you all the information that you need for your state so that you can see what's required in a public school. So this is all for public schools, okay? And the reason we're doing public schools is because we have to follow certain guidelines within our private school. Even though we're a private school, we still have to make sure that we have certain things in place. For the simple fact is when that child or student decides to leave Brain Food Academy and wants to go into a public school setting, they have to make sure all this information is on file. So we need to make sure we have it, that we verified the information, because we will then be able to transfer their information from our system to their system. And we want to make sure it's as painless and flawless as possible. Then there's some people was asking about different rules and regulations and guidelines. So right here is literally a link that you click, excuse me, and it takes you to the U.S. Department of Education laws and guidelines. All right. Also in this site, you can see where you can get student loans, you can get grants. So there's information on here where you can come in and look and see what type of grants is available for private education, and you can actually apply for them. One of them is right here, is the A to Z list for all grant programs. And there's a ton of them in here. You just have to go through and read and see what you want your child to qualify for and what they can qualify for. There's 27 pages in here. So you just go through and look and see what you can do. A lot of them are competition. There's some in here for competition grants. And the good thing about a grant, guys, is you don't pay grants back. But sometimes you have to read the qualifications, because like a Pell Grant, I got the Pell Grant when I was in college, and then I had to do a 2-year study wherever they tell you to go. So you have to look at what the grant stipulations are for you to get that money. Excuse me. So just go through and look at the different programs that you can have grant access to. Okay, so this site here actually has multiple different facets in it that you can utilize here at Brain Food Academy. Now, this is a question that came up that we are requiring vaccines and immunization records all across the board in all 50 states. For you to go to a public school, you have to have updated vaccines and immunization shots. It is a must, except they do have stipulations that you can be exempt from that protocol. And one of them is religious reasons. There are some religions that don't like to have foreign bodies inputted into their body. So that is one of the things that you can go in, but you have to put in that information. There's a form that you have to fill out to get exempt status that needs to follow your student throughout their educational platform. Okay, so it will follow them from grade to grade, from school to school, that exempt notification. So if you follow within that, here's a site right here where it tells you all the different circumstances that you can be exempted from having to have your vaccine and immunization shots records for any school that you apply to. Now, here's a big thing. Here in North Carolina, kindergarten is not required, but because of it being a grade, all 50 states are required in a public school setting to offer kindergarten. Now, there are, I think there's 13 to 16 states that mandate that you do have to go to kindergarten. Now, because the school system is in the hand of each individual state, you do have a countrywide mandate, and then each state can actually modify that mandate to fit their own state requirements. So some of the states have required that you do attend kindergarten. If you are listed in one of these states and you want to go to Brain Food Academy, your child has to attend our kindergarten or a kindergarten class. Now, let me hold on, miss this one. Let me break this one back out. Now, if your state is not listed here, that means you are not required to have your child in kindergarten. However, that state can ask you to test your child to make sure that they are competent enough and know material to begin first grade. If they can't pass the competency equivalency test, they will be required to go to kindergarten, or they will be required to do additional studies to make sure that they get on track for first grade. Okay. Not all states will mandate it, but there are some states in here that do mandate that you will be tested before you are allowed to go into first grade if you don't show proof that you attended a kindergarten. Okay. Is there funding available for private education? And a lot of people, when you first started, when I homeschooled, there was no funding for homeschooling. There was funding for private school, but we were not private school. There's so much regulations you have to go through to become a private school. Becoming a homeschool environment is totally different. There's a lot of leeway that you have as a homeschool program or homeschool platform. But because of homeschooling, when I did my children, there was no funding. So everything that we did was out of pocket. All of our expenses, all of our resources, if we did trips, anything like that came out of pocket. However, COVID was good for a lot of things, and one of them was education. When a lot of people had to go in-house to do education, a lot of families couldn't afford to have their child at home because they couldn't afford their child was too young to stay home by themselves. So their child was forced to go into the public system and be exposed to COVID and everything else that was out there. So they came in with these different programs that, yes, we can give you financial aid if you decide to put your child in an environment that is not in a public school setting. But some of those programs are still in effect, and they are continuing to do that. So I have listed out the ones that I found that seem to be relevant for our purposes as an online private education platform. And they range from scholarships to grants to financial assistance. And all of these go to different programs that you can actually click on, read about what the program has, and this tells you how to find it. Different things, you can go here, scholarship tools that this one has, financial aid. It even has something here that you can enter to see if you vet for a scholarship. One of the other things that you need to check is see if your state, here in North Carolina, we get vouchers. So say we have a school like we have our academy down the street that has a voucher, because we have like 4 different schools in one area, but depending on where you're zoned, you have to go to that certain school unless you drive your child there. But we do have schools that have popped up that are charter schools that have a fund for them. So you can actually submit to your state that you want a voucher to help pay for tuition for your child to go to this private school. So you need to check, and right here, here's different information. You click on these links to see if your state has a voucher program. And once Brain Food Academy gets implemented and going, you will have codes that we can give you to put in there so that you can say that my child's going to Brain Food Academy. It's a private school. This is my tuition, so that you can have a valid resource for our school to put in this information. But check on that. The one thing that you also need to know is that you can get multiple resources. So if you get approved for one and maybe it doesn't meet the full tuition, you can apply for another one. So it's not just a one and done. You can apply for as many grants as you need to cover your tuition. So this is just one of the programs that's out there. Okay. Most of these are free. Here's the one that's for government. So this one is another one. It has different programs. This is what I was showing you earlier for different grants and information. So that one's on there. It has a direct link that you can go to. So this one is for homeschooling. So even though we are going to a private online academy, it's still as a homeschool. You can still classify it as a homeschool because they still are in their home. So here's another one where you can get financial assistance. It actually has some links where you can go in and check and see if you qualify for different information. So there's all kind of things in here that you can read about, see what you need, you can sign up for. You just want to make sure that when you read it, because some of these things do have little plugins for other schools. So you want to make sure when you go in and click to get the financial aid that you're not registering for financial aid for their school. So some of them do have little plugins in there like that. So you want to make sure when you do that, that you look very carefully when you look for the financial assistant, that it's not a specific school that you are getting the assistance for. Okay. So you can go through and look through all of this information, look for the different grants. But here's everything that was covered or asked on Friday or on Wednesdays, yesterday's call. I've been doing research since then. So when Rory called and said, hey, can you go over this? Can you create a page? I was already there. I had already started it. So this is just relevant information that you can use and start putting in a page of your own. The other thing that you want to look at is, like I said, if there's questions that your students come up with that is not here, this is where we can keep adding to it as a general guide and regulations, so that we have one central point where everybody can come within your system so that you can mark it and say, hey, this is what you need to know about our Brain Food Academy. This is going to be specific Q&A questions where they can come in, ask their questions, and get the answer. There's actually a spot in here where we can leave comments or allow them to ask comments. So I'm thinking about implementing that resource on this page so that if somebody finds my page, or when I advertise it and they have a question, that they can put it in the comments right on my page so I can come in here and look at it. I got to see if that works. I know that I've done it on a couple of other pages, but this is just some information. Like I said, general information based on some questions that was asked on Wednesday study hall, not study hall, but open house, that we really didn't have answers to. Well, we had the answers to, but it was not in a general place where everybody could go and find those answers. And it didn't have the resources to back up what we knew the answer to be. So Roy asked me to create this page with the resources that I had so that you guys can have one location that you can come and get the information and then create your own pages so that when we start advertising on our Thursday and Saturday calls and we start advertising more heavily for our Brain Food Academy, you guys have this information that you can implement. Let's see, I'm going to put this in the chat so you guys can go in. Where's my chat? There it is. And the name's kind of long. I was playing with it. I didn't know, but I was like, you know what? We're just going to tell it what it is. It's your guide to learning with Brain Food Academy. And this is where we're going to come in. And like I said, just update it after every Wednesday call or when everybody sends me a question that they can't find an answer to regarding how to get started, what they need to do to register, the registration information. And those are things that you guys can put in. Hey, how to set up a parent account. So you can put that in here anywhere you need it. You can come down here at the bottom and say getting started. Let me put that in here right now. I can go ahead and put that there.
Also, guys that are new to Zoom, if you click on that link, it'll open up the page for you. You can't copy it out of Zoom, but you can click on it.
All right, so I went yellow. I already know what it is. I got too many passive words or something. Yep, passive voice. I'll fix that later. So we're going to update. So this is where you guys right here, let me do that. I want that to be a heading 3. So how to get started. So this is where you're going to come in and put your personal parent link from your DTCA back office. So you're just going to go to your DTCA back office. You're going to click over on the left-hand corner. You're going to see your wine link, your ambassador link, your parent link, and then the student, I think a student link. Okay. So you're just going to click your parent link, and it's going to open up a URL, and in your address bar up here, you're going to copy that link that shows up, and then that's where you're going to paste it right here for them to come in and set up the parent link for you specifically so that they will be under you. Okay, so that's why this is going to be blank. It's not going to have my link in it. I will put that in there later once I start getting everything together. But this is a page where you guys can come in and basically copy it and manipulate it to fit your criteria and the way that you want to set it up. You can mix and match these things. You can, put them the way you want to. If you want to put criteria at the bottom, if you want to put vaccinated, you design your page the way you want to with this information. Just check it periodically. Like I said, every Wednesday night when we have questions that come up that is not answered here, I will be updating this page with that information. And then next Thursday, Roy wants us to do a series for Brain Food Academy especially. He said 2 to 3 weeks. Just depends on how long it takes us. So next week, we will revisit this page, look for any updates that's on there, and then I will be showing you guys another page on our teacher profiles. And we're going to be highlighting our teachers specifically. And like I said, we're going to group our teachers. We're going to group them into elementary, middle school, and high school. And so that way you can literally pinpoint your marketing for those specific grades. And we are going to have some teachers that's going to cross between all grades. That's going to be teaching different subjects for different grade levels. So we will have some teachers that's going to be crossing all the planes there, which is great. I still, like I said, there's about 6 teachers we got to get videos for. Once we get those done, we'll just keep updating those pages as we get more teachers. So you guys just be on profile or be on standby. So when we do those pages, I will let you know every Wednesday night that, hey, there's a new teacher profile out there. Go check out the page to get the updates. So you guys can go and add that information in there. Right now we're in the process of getting schedules. So that could be another page. Once we get all the teacher schedules in there, we'll be able to go in there and say, hey, this teacher is going to be teaching English at 9 o'clock Eastern time for grades 9. So you'll be able to put and update those teacher profiles. Maybe you just want to go in after you get the individual profiles for the teachers for kindergarten or K through 5 elementary, then maybe you want to highlight subjects. So we're going to create the master page like Rory's been doing on his marathons. We're going to create a master page so that you can then go in and highlight and break apart that master page and create multiple pages from it based on what you see and how you want to market our Brain Food Academy. So I hope this page helps you guys with your marketing. And like I said, we're going to be conducting a series of Thursday night trainings on how we can get more exposure, how we can get more questions, get more answers to what people might perceive. We want to make sure that we are on top of any objections or any questions that they have or that might come across. We want to make sure that we already have the answers for them, and it's going to be on your pages on your site. So this is just going to be our master page. We will be updating it. Every time I get more information, we'll be updating this page, and you guys can just come in, see what's updated, what information is there, and then you can go and modify and adjust your pages accordingly. So I hope that helped you guys, or I hope it will help you guys when you are, even those of you that have questions, that's going to be putting your students in class here with Brain Food Academy. I hope that helped you answer some of your questions that's there. And then for those of you, I'm going to have a I got to put in there the teacher requirements, because that is one of the things I did forget to put in there. I'll be updating that tomorrow, because our teacher requirements, because we are a private school, is a little bit different than our brick and mortar schools. We still have the same kind of guidelines, but they're not as strict. So we don't have to have teachers with certificates, you know, we don't have to have all of that type of information. So there are things that I will be outlining there for teacher requirements. But for right now, this page is predominantly for the student and parent, so that they know what that student will need, what that parent will need to have their student enrolled. How's that sound?
Phenomenal. That's awesome. And that means that I have to update my teacher page.
Yeah. So everybody should have a teacher page that you can update once we get this information in. We're just going to be breaking it down, like I said, per grades, so that it makes it easier. So if you have kindergartners, instead of sending them to your teacher page and they have to filter through the kindergartner teachers or first grade teachers, they'll have it right there, so they can see who our first grade teachers are, who our kindergarten teachers are, who our third grade teachers are, and what subjects they'll be teaching. So we're just going to make it more streamlined and have it available so that you guys can then go and manipulate the master page to fit it to the way you write in your style, and follow along with your blog pages. Does that sound good?
Perfect. Love it.
All right. Do we have any questions on what you guys saw? Was everybody able to open that? And again, if you have any questions about that's not on there, please get them to your upline, to your instructor, your MSI, so they can get them to me, and I can get with our team and do the research that needs to get the correct answers. Yes, Miss Betsy.
I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Betsy.
Do you have a time frame at this point? It was, I mean, I know it was a few weeks ago last week. Are we still looking at a few more weeks?
I talked with Rory, and we are trying. Like I said, there's a glitch that we just cannot find. It just keeps showing up, and so I know Peter is working diligently to get that fixed. We're still shooting for the end of the month. And hopefully when we get to McKinney, he can say, yep, everything's ready. But until then, I won't know until he tells me, and we will announce it on the Wednesday night open house. Yeah. If it's before that, it will go through the MSIs, and then they will trickle it down.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Sheila, it looks good.
All right.
Thank
you
you
guys
so
for
much.
coming, and see y'all on the
This is
training.
exciting.
See y'all, McKinney. Some, yeah. So that should have answered your students from last night, Linda. I got him his answer.
Yes, and he's here.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All
Y'all
right.
have a blessed night, and we will see y'all on the training Saturday.
Got it.
All
Good
right.
night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.